After a grueling 16-game stretch that included 13 road games, twice on the West Coast and once on the East Coast, it's home sweet home. Tonight, the Royals begin a 6-game homestand against the Atlanta Braves. Royals baseball on what has become a cool night in Kansas City. After some thunderstorms, the temperature has dropped, but it's still a comfortable night as the Royals begin a 6-game homestand. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium, and doesn't that sound good?
Oh, doesn't it? Home cooking never tasted better. Now, hopefully, that'll transfer into wins.
And the wins on the road trip had very much to do with who was able to score first. That's the goal of every team every night. But, boy, it really defined who was going to win. And now the Royals are taking on the Atlanta Braves, who have really struggled this year. They are tied with the Minnesota Twins for the worst record in the major leagues, and they have really had their challenges offensively.
Absolutely, Rhino. Look, it doesn't matter in baseball, though. Any team can beat any team on any given night. This game will be just as tough as the others because that young man who's pitching has been putting on a rock concert so far this season.
All right, so the Royals on the last road trip, they went 2-5. When they scored first, they won. When the opponent scored first, they lost. So that defined every single game of the road trip, and the Royals are now 8-2 this year when leading after the first inning. And Ned Yost says that's a key, just getting through that first inning.
It helps if you can get through a clean 2 or 3 innings and get the lead and then work from that point on. And you know, when things aren't going right, that's always the case. You're down early and you're battling to try to get back, and then you get close, and then boom, you know, the lead gets extended a little bit. But like I said, hopefully it's just a matter of time for we get through that.
Sure, best case scenario is to get the lead first, but it doesn't always happen. What are you going to do if you don't get the lead first? The Royals are going to face that the rest of the season, too, at times. They're going to have to find a way to go ahead and get those runs across the plate, however they do it.
And they can't take the Atlanta Braves for granted with their struggles this year. So game 1 of 3, it'll be Edinson Volquez pitching for the Royals. We'll talk more about the Braves when we come back. Braves, who is in the last year of his contract. He has not received a quote vote of confidence with the Braves, off to a very slow start. And we showed you how much the Braves have struggled this year in just about every offensive category. Well, really, it goes back to last year, as the Braves were last in the major leagues in home runs and last in the major leagues in runs scored. So really, all this began for the Braves in 2015 and is now carried over into 2016. So that's good news for Edinson Volquez as he takes the ball tonight. It's game 1 of 3 with the Atlanta Braves. And the Royals are 2-3 against the National League, having played the Mets and the Nationals, and now a 3-game series with the Atlanta Braves. And we've showed you how much trouble the Braves have had offensively. Well, they haven't been perfect on the mound, but most of their troubles have been offensively. So the pitching matchups for the series includes Dylan G filling in for Chris Young tomorrow night, and then Danny Duffy is back to the starting rotation, at least for Sunday, taking the spot of former Brave Chris Medlin. Edinson Volquez pitches tonight. He loves pitching at Kauffman Stadium.
Sure does, and hopefully those numbers stay true to Volquez tonight, and hopefully he is steady. That's exactly what they want. His nickname. Go out there and eat up some innings, keep the ball down with his 3 outstanding pitches. If those pitches are on, he's going to induce a lot of ground balls. He might have a few strikeouts if he's got that 4-seamer going in the upper part of that strike zone, but Volquez is a guy that can really turn this thing around and get this first home game here a W. Get him some innings.
And this home game coming after 13 of 16 on the road. stand. The Royals are 9-5 at Kauffman Stadium this year. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. To go. That is the veteran Nick Markakis, a Georgia native, playing with his hometown team after a long career with the Baltimore Orioles. There are veterans in there: Freddie Freeman, Tyler Flowers, we saw him with the White Sox, Kelly Johnson, former Royal Jeff Francoeur, Gordon Beckham, we saw him with the White Sox, and Eric Ibar. So it's a young team, but offensively it's not that young.
I agree totally, Rhino. They got some guys in there. Look at Frenchie. Frenchie back with the team he started with. Good luck to you, Frenchie, after you leave the K this weekend. We're coming after you.
Volquez's first pitch is a little bit low to Markakis, who is in his second year with the Braves. Parts of 9 seasons with the Baltimore Orioles.
Nice. Good tailing action. Volquez, he'll run that fastball 90 to 93, 94, sometimes to 95, but he's got that good overhand curveball that's a beauty. When that's working, it's working down and sharp. Good changeup, fades away from lefties into righties. Tempo is important for him. Good tempo means good confidence.
Overall ERA of 3.89, but at home he has the 6th best home ERA, 1.37. He jammed Markakis. The wind can be a factor tonight as it blows in from the northwest, so that's left to right. And Alex Gordon takes care of Markakis for the first out. And a look at the Royals defensively, presented by Ford. Paulo Orlando will be in right field. Omar Infante is back at second base. Ned Yost mentioned before the game tonight, as Christian Colon is getting more playing time at second base, he's going to do the same thing in right field. Paulo Orlando will be maybe not an equal split with Gerard Dyson, but more even playing time in right field.
I gotta believe Ned's going to be going with the hot hand now more than any kind of platoon role. Whoever's hot's going to get that nod. That's my feeling.
Ender Inciarte. Royals have seen him with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And that's popped up. Escobar, there's the wind. Escobar called that maybe too soon.
Yep, and I've seen Esky make a few early calls before. You got to let it get up there and then see what it's going to do, especially a ball hit high like that. But then that wind just picked it up, and Escobar had to quickly move those feet, shuffle them, get in that position. He's saying, yeah, okay. Wind is the biggest element that can affect the game. And there's another tester.
That wind might keep it in the ballpark, and Cuthbert brings it down. 3 outs in the air. Volquez needs only 7 pitches. Fast 7-pitch, top of the first inning. And now the Royals will try and score in the first. That was the trend on the road trip. Whoever scored first won the game. So Omar Infante back in the lineup, batting 8th. Paulo Orlando in right field is hitting 9th. Otherwise, everyone the same throughout the road trip through Cleveland and New York. Julio Teheran will make the start for the Braves, making his 8th start. He got off to an awful start, just like his team did, a 6.35 ERA in his first 3, but in his last 4, he has allowed just 1 home run, and his earned run average is 1.48.
Ooh, man, there's a little bit of funky action right there, that windup. Now, I could tell from the first pitch, this guy he's quick in his delivery. Man, was he fast coming out of there. And I have to see a few pitches from this guy. And he's not overpowering. 90 might be about the max he'll go on his fastball. 89 to 90. Slider, curveball, and a changeup from this position here. Little funky, kind of flicks that front leg at you. Has a little bit of deception with that, and is able to hide the ball pretty well, looks like. Got some action coming inside. Good 2-seamer. Good hard run.
Escobar during the trip in 7 games scored 1 run. Fastball away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Checking with home plate umpire Greg Gibson, asking if he swung at a strike. Escobar last year, or this year rather, in interleague play has hit .400 against the National League. The Royals have had series against the Mets and the Nationals. Into right field. Coming up is Francoeur, and the ball skips by him. Escobar to second. Still going. And he's in there. Runner at third, nobody out. That'll be a single and an error 9.
Thank Thank you very much, Frenchie. As this ball drops in with a little bit of spin on it, of course, not a lot. He just misplayed it. Need to break it down, slow it down as you get closer to the ball. He pursued, and I love Escobar saying, you know, you're going to have to make a perfect throw to throw me out at third base. I'm going. Royals desperately wanting to get the lead early, like their chances now. Nobody out. Infield back. Lorenzo Cain, all he's got to do is put it in play, keep it away from the pitcher.
Good aggressive swing on a fastball. Lorenzo had 3 home runs and 7 RBIs during the road trip, and all of that was in the Yankees series, which included that 3 home run game on Tuesday. No balls and 2 strikes. Don't mean to pile on the Braves, but the numbers are what they are. There are many different ways to measure defense. We like to use defensive run save, and the Braves, among other troubles, are last in the major leagues. They are already -26 in defensive runs saved.
Yeah, you know, interesting, Rhino, how baseball can go, and that should score the run.
Ibar in time to get Cain. So if the trend continues, the Royals are going to win tonight. The trend, at least from the road trip.
Yeah, well, that's good. They didn't waste any time to get that out. But, you know, just how baseball goes, you never know. The numbers sometimes don't stack up against teams, but baseball is the term they use. Baseball, it's difficult, and you never know. One night for the other, any team could beat any other team. So those numbers are stacked way against the Braves. But the Royals want to play their game, and they believe they can do that a little more efficiently right here at home at the K.
Eric Hosmer continued his steady play on the road trip, hitting .333, and that's his overall batting average. So Eric Hosmer was just simply Eric Hosmer during the trip. Had 2 home runs and drove in 4. He also scored 7 times. And now changeup is up and away. 3 balls and no strikes. He's our Honda most trusted player, Eric Hosmer. Most games with a base hit. He has the most in the American League. Odubel Herrera of the surprising Phillies has the most with 30, and Eric Hosmer has 29. No hit here, but he reaches with a 1-out walk. Here's the rest of the Braves defense behind Tehran tonight. Enciarte in left, Malik Smith, a rookie, in center, Jeff Francoeur in right, Gordon Beckham, Eric Ibar, Kelly Johnson, Freddie Freeman on the infield, and Tyler Flowers is behind the plate.
Tehran, obviously watching him and his delivery and the way some of the Royals are swinging, has some sneaky looking fastballs. It gets on you quickly with that quick delivery. Now Eovaldi, the Yankee pitcher that faced the guys last night up in New York, he wasn't sneaking anything by him at 98. You could see that pretty cleanly, and you knew that the heat was coming. When you face a guy like this, it can be a little bit more difficult. See, Morales was late on that one. And Morales would love to step it up a bit. Average is not anywhere close where he thinks it should be. Just 190 coming in. 13 RBIs. I think he had about 29 or close to 30 last year about this time.
He had just 4 hits on the trip. He did drive in 5. Had a big 3-run home run in a game in Cleveland in the first inning. Inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Morales, now he's much further along in his career than Mike Moustakas was 2 years ago, but he's experiencing what Mike Moustakas did 2 years ago, where he's hitting the ball hard, but he's hitting it right into the shift. So the question becomes, does he continue just to stay where he is and hope that he gets hits, or does he need to make an adjustment and start taking advantage of that wide open left side? High in the air to right field. Francoeur hardly has to move, and that is the second out.
Well, you know, Ryan, this isn't a game of adjustments. You have to adjust playing it every single day, day to day. You know, there's scouts that are at every game, especially the team you're playing next, so they know your weaknesses, they know your strengths, they know all of that. And so sometimes you have to have a game plan. Morales, I think he's going to come around. There's no doubt about it. He's healthy. He's a smart hitter. He's going to start using the opposite field. He's very good from both sides of the plate going the opposite way.
Hosmer at first with 2 down. And Alex Gordon. High and inside. Alex, another Royal who swung the bat well on the road trip, batting at .348. Had a home run in the Cleveland series. He had a home run in the Yankees series, and altogether he drove in 5. Changeup, and Tehran has a good one. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Dale Swaim's really enjoying Alex Gordon using his hands more, not as much as his body. When he was struggling, he was jumping out there with his lower half and really spinning with that upper part, and now he's just not jumping out there as much with his lower half. He's just throwing his hands to the ball, and it's showing. Ball's really jumping off of his bat.
Timeout. There is a plastic bag that's flying around in center field. There it is, and it's right in the line, or at least it was, of Alex Gordon picking up the pitch out of Tehran's hand, and now the bag, like a fan that's run on the field, is eluding Malik Smith, who's trying to chase it down.
Hard enough to hit without objects flying around, and you see that in the background right around its release point.
Sliders in for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Slider that he likes a lot. He's going to use it to righties, away to righties, and both sides to left-handers.
Now that pitch was supposed to be up. Tyler Flowers wanted Tehran to throw up and get Alex to chase one out of the strike zone. That's not quite where Flowers wanted it.
No, you know, Flowers, his last 3 or 4 years playing with the White Sox, he knows the Royals very well, and you'd think that might be an advantage for Tehran, the starting pitcher, but not really. I mean, you still got to come over that plate. You still got to execute your pitches. Just under it.
Ibar over from short, and it's a left fielder, Inciarte, or was it Ibar? Nope, Inciarte made the play. So the Braves kind of bumble themselves through the bottom of the first inning. The Royals take advantage. Escobar goes to third on the air, and Lorenzo Cain's ground out gets him home. Well, for most of the day, it was a beautiful day in Kansas City. Temperatures in the mid-70s, upper 70s, and then some thunderstorms came blasting through out of the northwest. The temperature has dropped, and a cool wind flies across Kauffman Stadium left to right and has already affected the flight of a couple of balls hit in the air. Tyler Flowers, who is actually from the Braves organization, traded to the White Sox. Hits it out to Infante. And Edinson Volquez has retired the first 4 he has faced.
Well, when you're new to teams and you're coming from all different places, you don't know each other. Now there was almost a collision there. Ibar, that's routine. That's probably 20 feet in back of the cutoff. So now they're talking about it, and when you don't play together, you don't know each other's tendencies, especially this early in the season. And unfortunately for the Braves, they're seeing some of that. Ooh.
Going to get a little bit of help from the wind, and that ball is in play. Kelly Johnson is into second base. The Braves may want to take a look at that. Did that ball hit the padding, or did it hit the railing beyond the padding and bounce back?
I'm not so sure. We can't see it 387 all that way, but it looked to me like it was gone. Nope.
Well, top of the padding.
All right. There's a break. Now, obviously, as early in the count as the Braves are swinging at Volquez, their scouting report from hitting coach Kevin Seitzer is, let's get him early. He's throwing a majority of fastballs early in the count, first inning, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to ambush him.
Here's Kevin Seitzer, second year as Braves hitting coach, the former Royal player and former Royal hitting coach. And for a time, he had Jeff Francoeur as a student here in Kansas City. By the way, the Braves could have asked the umpires to take a look at that and not lost a challenge. That's still a boundary play. But among other things that have gone wrong for the Braves, they are 0 for 8 in challenges this year. As Francoeur hits it into the crowd off the right field line, and it's 1-1. I mean, the numbers, the negative numbers, have just piled up on Atlanta.
Especially getting off to the worst start in their history. I mean, hasn't been good there. 0 for 8 though with replays. That's not good.
Grounded to Cuthbert. That'll keep Johnson at second base. Hosmer stretches into foul ground. And there are 2 down. So Edinson Volquez with a 1.37 ERA at home, our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. That is the 6th best in the American League. The Royals starting rotation as a team are 6th best at home, 3.48. So another reason to be optimistic that the Royals will get the pitching turned around during this homestand. Gordon Beckham takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Longtime White Sox second baseman. He was born in Atlanta, went to the University of Georgia, and that's where the White Sox drafted him in the first round. It's interesting looking at the veterans that they have, Hud. Nick Markakis from Georgia. Tyler Flowers, originally from the Braves organization. Kelly Johnson, originally from the Braves organization. Jeff Francoeur, originally from the Braves organization. Gordon Beckham, Georgia native. So I don't know if that's coincidence or not, but putting some veterans together and thinking long term, they wanted some guys who maybe had some emotional ties to the organization.
It's possible. We have a couple days we can find that out. Salvi took that off his mask. Well, one positive number that the Braves have is they're hitting 277 with runners in scoring position. And Beckham, he's hitting 375. That's a positive number. That's 4th in the National League at 277 average. Now, that's a positive.
Breaking ball is outside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Beckham. First round pick of the White Sox in 08 out of the University of Georgia, and was their starter at third base in 09. And then moved over to second base in 2010, where he spent several years at that position.
Versatile player, reliable. Angels picked him up in 14 to try to help them later in the season. Plays some third base, a little second, you know, just like you said. He's a veteran. Experience, track record. Managers like to go with guys like that.
Off the plate. Going to be a tough play for Cuthbert. Bare hands in the dirt. Hosmer pulls it out. A tremendous defensive play for the Royals to end the top of the second inning.
That was special. The Royals are back, and so is that defense. This was unbelievable. That ball kicked right to Cuthbert, and that ball was a tough pick by Haas, and it's a beautiful thing to see him back. Look at that, running full speed, great concentration on both ends of that play. Snow coned it right at the end. Yeah, smiles.
That makes a great play to end 1 inning, and he bats second in the next inning.
Oh, you're the best.
Salvador Perez takes a strike. Salvi had a tough trip, batting just 179. He did homer and drive in 4. Not tonight, at least not from the left field line to center field. That strong left to right wind out of the northwest. Perez flies out to Smith. 1 down. Take another look at that play. Cuthbert on Gordon Beckham.
Okay, off the plate, I'm thinking this is going to be tough. Cuthbert comes in full speed running. I mean, that takes some kind of focus to bare hand and just get rid of it. That's called rid and troll. Get rid of it with some petrol on it, man. And Haas picked him up nicely with that soft hands, and the way he dug that out, stayed low to high on the pick. It was beautiful.
And as Joel shared with us during the Cleveland series, Hosmer has a special fondness for Cheslor Cuthbert. Happy to help him out, pulling that throw out of the dirt. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Haas calls Cuthbert his little brother.
Chesler has hit in 6 straight. That coincides with all of his starts since filling in for Mike Moustakas at third.
Season's young, Rhino, but I'm going to tell you that's the best infield play coming in on a ball we've seen all year. That ball, it took a little bounce towards the third base line even, and he still stayed with it with his bare hand. Great focus and concentration.
Fair ball up the left field line. And Cuthbert is into second base with 1 out.
Flowers sitting up inside. That's where he put it. It was elevated some, but he's able to get the barrel on it. Didn't sound like he broke his bat. Wouldn't have mattered. Double's a double. He'll take it. Cuthbert with his second double on the young season.
And that brings up Omar Infante, who had just 12 at-bats on the road trip. Infante has spent some time with the Braves in his career. Played with Atlanta in 2008, 2009, and 2010. Really became a versatile player with the Braves. That's when he started moving around the field after playing almost exclusively at shortstop, coming up with the Detroit Tigers, and now mostly a second baseman. Spent some time with the Braves and the Marlins before going back to Detroit as a second baseman. Still 0-2.
Talking about it, Infante coming up. Was a dead red fastball hitter. He killed it. I mean, I'd like to see his overall career numbers on the fastball alone. He still likes it. He still gets to it this late in his career, but I'd like to do it a little bit more often, especially with runners in scoring position, just hitting 174.
Got a mistake and he popped it up. That slider was right out over the plate. And Beckham trying to manage that strong wind, takes care of Infante. And there are 2 down. Cement your memories forever with a championship legacy brick. Create a personalized message that includes the 2015 World Series Championship logo. Your brick will then be installed in the ground outside of the stadium gates. A portion of the proceeds of the brick program go to support Royals charities, so place your order early as space is limited. Royals.com/bricks. Paulo Orlando with Cuthbert at second base, 2 down. Almost nailed him. Now Paulo, talking about few at-bats on the trip, he had 2. None in the Cleveland series, and both of his at-bats in the Yankees series were as a pinch hitter, and he came through both times.
2 for 2.
And Ned Yost told us before the game tonight that he's going to get more playing time in right field. So up and in both times. Hit him the second time. Interesting.
Yeah, you know, he missed by a good margin there, and you know, okay. Paulo says, "All right, I'll wear that one." Right on the hood of the Cobra, Rhino. That latissimus dorsi. Hitters get hit a lot in that spot there, and in the wallet. Those are 2 good spots to get hit because it's pretty thick, a lot of muscles there. Paulo shook his head, saying, "All right, I'll see you later." Like it.
Tehran from Colombia, Paulo from Brazil, for what that's worth. Is there some sort of a soccer rivalry there that I don't know?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Slider for a strike to Alcides Escobar from Venezuela. He had a little bloop single into right field in the first inning that skipped away from Jeff Francoeur, and Escobar ended up at third on the play and scored the run on a Kane ground out. That's a strike, and it's 0-2. It's a chilly one. That might be overdoing it a little bit, but it is cool after a mostly warm day. Ground ball, base hit right field. Cuthbert will be waved home. Francoeur has a great arm, but that throw comes in on 5 bounces. Escobar is 2 for 2. The Royals rally with 2 outs and have a 2-0 lead.
That'll up that mark with runners in scoring position for Esky, hitting .222. It's going to push that up, and timely. Very nice piece of hit. If Escobar continues to go that way on pitches out over the plate, he's going to become dangerous. Timely with 2 outs again. The Royals are home, and it seems like they play like this here, and maybe this is exactly what they needed. Get off of those long road trips.
That was on an 0-2 pitch. Orlando went to third on the play, so runners at the corners for Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo has driven in 8 runs in his last 5 games.
Ball was up a little bit above the belt, but Lorenzo Cain, as hot as he is, probably telling himself he'd like another one of those. Quick feet by Teheran and a quick throwing stroke over to first base.
In case you're wondering, by the way, in the recent FIFA rankings, Brazil 7, Colombia 4.
I was wondering. Thanks, Rhino.
Slider is low, 2 balls and no strikes. Who's number 1, Holtzy? Here we go. Argentina. So there you have it. 2-0 on Cain. 3 balls and no strikes. Eric Hosmer's on deck. Big crowd, first summer fireworks of the year. So that little guy looking forward to some Royals baseball and then some fireworks. Now they always say weather permitting, and I'll bet the Royals stadium operations are hoping that that wind will die down some before the fireworks show. Cain takes a strike and the count is 3-1.
Well, another thing you can watch out for Teheran, he's got 5 wild pitches on the season. Lorenzo Cain taking 3-0. That's good. It's early in the game. Want to see as many pitches as you can, especially when you've never faced a guy before. So 3-1. If he threw it 3-0, he might throw it 3-1.
Escobar takes off and Cain pulls it foul. So Esky will be running again.
And that was his changeup. So hitter's going to be out ahead of that pitch. And scouting report I have on his changeup is some tail and sink. He has a pretty good feel for it, but I haven't seen that. He's thrown a few of them. I haven't seen it really sink that much. It's just a straight change of speeds.
Flowers wants a fastball away. Escobar runs, and it's swung on a miss. So he got him with that fastball away. So the Royals have scored in each of the first 2 innings. Here in the second, a 2-out single from Escobar makes it 2-0 Royals. Kane in the first inning from Alcides Escobar in the second inning, and a good start for Edinson Volquez. He's needed just 18 pitches to get through the first 2 innings, and now he'll get the Braves 8, 9, and 1 hitters. This is Malix Smith coming over in a trade from the Padres and made an immediate impact. Last year in his first season in the Braves organization was their minor league player of the year. He likes to bunt. He bunts it foul back into the crowd. We have a nice catch down there, Hud.
On the bunt. How about that? And the gentleman caught it cleanly.
5th round pick in 2012 out of a junior college in Florida. The Braves drafted him out of high school, and he decided to go to college, so they've had their eye on him for quite a while and got him in the deal that sent Craig Kimbrell to San Diego very early in the season last year. This Georgia peach is forever Royal. 3 balls and 1 strike on Smith. Good pitch across the knees. Full count on Smith. Salvi gives him a low target, and it's grounded out to Escobar. Smith runs well and in time. So 1 down to the veteran Eric Ibar, who is hitting 181, but the Royals are saying, ha, you're not fooling us. Look at Ibar, and if you've been following the Royals over the last 10 years, this won't surprise you. In fact, that may seem low to you, hitting just 380 at Kauffman Stadium. And when the Angels had that run of division titles and when they were dominating the West, when the Royals would play the Angels, Eric Ibar was just running circles around the Royals. I can tell you a little story, Hud. I remember Dayton Moore had just become general manager. Well, he became general manager in 06. So it was either 06 or 07, and the Royals are playing the Angels, and I mean, they were just running the Royals into the fountains. And as Dayton will do, and it doesn't matter if you're a broadcaster or a scout or one of the guys that lets you in, one of the security guards that lets you in, Dayton will get everyone's opinion. What do you think? What do you see? And on one day he asked me, well, what do you see? What do you think? And I said, how come we don't have Eric Ibar in our system? And right. Dayton said something I'll never forget. He said, looked me right in the eye and he says, we're out there trying to find every single one of those guys that we can get. Sure enough, athleticism is one of the Royals' strengths. A lot of those athletes are now at the big league level, as Ibar flies out to center field, and they're 2 down.
Yep, athletic performers is preferable to everyone. Now, you like the best athletes in the draft, in the amateur draft for sure. But when it comes to acquiring free agents and players like that, if you're going to wear a Royals uniform, you're going to have some special traits. And one of those is having the ability to cover some ground if you're an outfielder, some speed on the bases. Fits their team here in this big yard.
2 down to Nick Markakis. And outside, our camera crew is just showing the different Royals on defense, and one of the guys was Paulo Orlando, which is a great example of taking an athlete who had very little baseball experience, being patient with him. Some of those great athletes that you find in the draft or as an international signing are already good baseball players. Some of them aren't. Some of them are just learning the game. And Paulo Orlando, 9 years in the minor leagues before getting to the big leagues. Chesler Cuthbert from Nicaragua. That's low to Markakis. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, Lorenzo Cain would fit that bill as well, being athletic. This young man right here, never know, could fit that bill for Dayton. someday.
Over the mound, Escobar gets a nice big hop. Pecos is down, and that's 3 scoreless innings for Edinson Volquez. When the Royals come up in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Eric Hosmer will lead off. Hosmer, blasted to center field. It is gone. And Eric Hosmer. Bottom of the 3rd inning, and we show you our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Victor Martinez with a healthy knee this year, 10 for his last 13 in his last 3 games for the Tigers. The Philadelphia Phillies still 5 games above 500. They've been at their best in the close games, and the Oakland A's have allowed 11 or more runs in 4 straight games. 3 of those against the Red Sox, who have scored 11 or more runs in 4 straight games. So franchise records for both teams. Hosmer on for the 30th time this year with a base hit. That ties him for the major league lead, and on for the 2nd time tonight. He walked in the 1st inning.
Being aggressive early in the count, loads up his hips nicely, but he's waiting on the ball and using that whole side over there as they were playing him to a slight pull. Nice swing.
You know, and that's a great swing. We've been talking about this all road trip. That's a great swing for that situation. Right?
Right. Leading off, first pitch. Knows he's pretty much 100% sure he's going to give him a fastball. He was ready for it.
He didn't muscle up. He didn't try and hit a home run. He didn't try to hit a gap. Got a pitch that he could get to that wide open left side, and he's on.
I agree. Perfect stroke.
How about that? In his last 31 games, only twice he has not reached base. All right, let's get this bat going. Kendrys Morales. 1 ball and 1 strike. He flied out to right field in the 1st inning.
Like a small slider, almost a cutter. But the report we got didn't say he has a cutter, but that slider was very small break.
And that's through the back door. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's a pitch right there that, kind of like Hosmer, could just poke it into left field for a base hit.
That's what's going to get Morales going. Just any hitter the same way. That's a perfect spot on the outer half for him to go that way and just kind of keep that line moving with some lousy singles. Ooh, watch out.
Everybody all right? That was beyond the new netting. Yep. I think she's more in shock than injured. And there goes that ball for safekeeping.
Right in the pouch.
Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. There are Many things to do with a souvenir baseball. That's a first for me. I mean, usually there's a standing up and showing everybody they got the ball and excited. I think that guy was cold. Here's the ball. I'm gonna put it in my hoodie and I'm gonna get my hands in there and I'm gonna try and stay warm. Two balls and 2 strikes. Little celebration. And let's get back to the game.
Morales so far in this at bat here, pull happy. He's trying to pull everything.
They're going to set up outside, and he grounds it right to Beckham, who goes to Ibar. So that's a 5-6-3 double play. So he was trying to go the other way, but just didn't get it past Beckham, and now there are 2 down.
That's the right idea.
Alex popped out to shallow left field in the first inning, caught by Inciarte, who collided with the shortstop Ibar. Breaking ball is low. Braves and Angels swapped shortstops during the offseason. A stunning trade for many. They had just signed, the Braves had just signed Andrelton Simmons to a long-term contract. One of the most dynamic young shortstops in the game. Kind of player you figured they would build around. And shortly after signing that contract, they shipped him to the Angels. Ibar to the Braves.
And you know, the Angels liked Ibar. There was a lot of the players, especially Albert Pujols in particular, wondering why they would move Ibar as one of their more dynamic players. But you know, Simmons, he's, like you mentioned, platinum glove winner, but unfortunately for the Angels, he's out now with a thumb injury.
Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
So far in the 54 pitches, we're seeing Teheran throw mainly fastballs and sliders, and he's mixing in a few curves and a few changeups.
Sharply hit, but right to Johnson at second base, and that's the inning. So Teheran gets all 3 of his outs on the ground. Royals lead it 2-0. With a 2-0 lead. He has allowed 1 base runner in the first 3 innings. It'll be Inciarte, Freeman, and Flowers. Upstairs for ball 1. Inciarte popped out to Escobar in the first inning. Still looking for his first extra base hit and his first RBI. He was on the disabled list very early in the season with a left hamstring problem. Fastball over the outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So he was out for almost a month, from April the 10th until May the 7th. So he's been back for just a little under a week. There's a high strike, and it's 2-2. Volquez has been a contact pitcher tonight. No strikeouts. 5 of his 9 outs have been on the ground. And on the ground to Cuthbert. 1 away.
And has he got good hands? He's got excellent hands and a strong throwing arm, and that was evident there as that ball was a hot smash. He turned that ball into a marshmallow. A short hop, a little 2-hopper there. Stayed right in front of it. Of course, it's hit right at him, but it's been impressive. Just like he was last year when he got here.
And most third basemen will tell you that's the toughest play right there. A sharply hit ground ball off the bat of a left-hand hitter. Because the ball is not only coming right at you, but it's got some side spin on it as well, right?
Yep, especially that second hop. A 1-hopper is a little bit easier to read, but when it hit the dirt the second time, that's when it really can affect you. But he cradled it nicely.
Freddie Freeman fouled out to Cuthbert to end the top of the first inning. Good changeup down.
But the difference with Edinson Volquez in his last outing is his tempo. Look at he's getting that ball and throwing it. He's really doing a great job with his pitch count. And you mentioned pitching to contact.
Into the wind, and Alex has it go off of his glove and maybe even his leg. Freeman's at second base with 1 out. We'll see how they score it. It's an error on Alex Gordon.
Well, he'll tell you that he should have caught it, but see how he alligator armed it? He caught it down by his shoulder, and sometimes you're not looking at the ball when you catch it down there. See, he wasn't seeing it all the way in, and it hit in the heel of his glove. First error of the season, and that snaps a little airless streak by him.
Now Tyler Flowers, and that's taken high. Flowers grounded out to second base in the second inning. Some very colorful batting gloves. Check swing and a strike. 1-1. How about those, Hud?
I like them. We are in the era of multicolored batting gloves and uniforms and all kinds of stuff.
Looks like a soccer goalie.
Yeah, they do. Freddie Gonzalez, the manager, he's hitting Flowers in that 4th hole, that cleanup spot, and doesn't have a homer. He's hitting 229, but he is hitting 429 with runners in scoring position, and that's probably why he's in that spot.
He's done well against Volquez and against the Royals in his career. He has more home runs and RBIs against the Royals than any other team. 2-2. Volquez 2 innings ago worked around a runner at second base with 1 out after Johnson doubled and just missed hitting a home run. Had a couple of ground balls to third, and now working around Freeman at second base with 1 down in the 4th. Salvador Perez is pointing to the dirt. He wants this pitch down. It's up and fouled away. 3 years ago, the Royals opened in Chicago. It was James Shields' Royals debut on a cold day against Chris Sale. It was a 1-0 game, and remember, the one run that Shields allowed was a home run to Flowers in his first year taking over as the everyday catcher for A.J. Pierzynski, who had left the White Sox, and now Flowers and Pierzynski are back together again with Atlanta. Chopped out toward third, and Volquez no chance to get Flowers.
Well, that was a funky hit. It looked like it hit his foot, but nobody's saying anything. Usually the hitter's the first one that knows it. He doesn't run. But I thought that hit off his foot.
Ooh. I think the Royals are going to take a look at this.
Well, I don't know if that's a reviewable play or not.
I think Ned Yost is going to go find out.
But on contact, it looked to me like it. I could tell by the way the ball bounced. Just the way his foot went out when the ball hit the ground.
I think you're right, though. I think if that hits his foot at all, he stops.
Yeah, he reacts.
Right, because he knows he's not planning on getting an infield base hit.
No, you're right.
So first and third, 1 out for Kelly Johnson, who nearly homered to right his first time up. Breaking ball is in for a strike. Let's listen.
Sound like it hit his foot. Obviously it did. Move on. Let's see if Edison can induce a ground ball double play. He's rolled up 2 so far this season.
0-2 on Kelly Johnson. Like Jeff Francoeur, originally a Brave. He was their first round supplemental pick in 2000. And then 2 years later, Jeff Francoeur was a first-round pick of the Braves. They were known, kind of like the Moustakas, Hosmer, Perez, Kane group. The Braves knew that they were coming for years. Strike 3 called. Volquez picked a perfect spot to get his first strikeout of the night. He
rushed him. He rushed it up there. Look at that. It'll land that ball with a movement. And see, Johnson, when that ball left Volquez's hand, that ball looked like it was about 3 or 4 inches inside. And then just ran back over the plate. Excellent spot.
So first and third, 2 down. And now Francoeur. And he slings through a fastball. No balls and 1 strike. That group was known as the Baby Braves. Braves fans were keeping close tabs on them as they were coming up through the system. Mark DeRosa, who you spent some time with at the MLB Network a few days ago, was coming up through the Braves system. Take a look at our Kubota power stats for tonight, although tonight's stats talk about a lack of power. The Braves are last in the major leagues in home runs. They have not hit a triple yet and have a slugging percentage under 300. Broken bat. Infante goes out. The wind helps to knock that down, and Infante makes the play. So the Braves had runners at first and third with one out. Volquez gets a strikeout and a pop out, and Atlanta is scoreless.
And a broken bat.
Fourth inning. Are you ready for some trivia, Rex Hudler?
Oh, for sure.
Our sprint trivia question: who are the 6 current major league players that were active in Jeff Montgomery's final season of 1999? Carlos Beltran. Okay, Hud, you get the other 5.
Thank you.
6 current major leaguers in 1999.
That was my first year out of the game as a player. That doesn't help me.
That's in for a strike. A.J. Pierzynski.
And Monty's not here to help us.
So we've got 2. Inside to Salvi. 1 ball, 1 strike. Salvi flied to center in the second inning. Bartolo Colon.
And an upper tank shot by Salvi.
Who's the old guy we were just talking about on the road trip? Remember I asked you how old Juan Uribe?
Yeah, there you go. You got them all tonight.
Not as confident. Deep short, high bar. That was just enough time to get Salvador Perez. 1 down.
Well, speaking of good defense, let's show you Chesler Cuthbert in action. Out of Cleveland on the road. That was an excellent play on the backhand dive. And this play just the other night in New York. And then tonight he is putting on a clinic. Showing great range both to his left and right. We saw him make another play to his glove side in the hole that he dove for too. So we haven't even gotten all of his great plays on there in just a short time he's been here.
And with his double in the second inning, he has now hit safely in every start. 7. No balls and 2 strikes.
When you get called up and you're a young player, lots of times you battle nerves, but this young man, I've never seen him nervous at all. Not one time. This brief time last season and this season here now. Playing loose, fits right in.
Yeah, I don't remember him looking tight on the field last year, but he looks very loose this year at the plate defensively. And so, if anything, what he accomplished last year was just getting comfortable at this level and realizing that he could play at this level. He was tearing up AAA before being called up. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's the first stage for a young player that comes up. There's 3 stages. You want to show that you could play here. Oh man,
Ball was on the line and spun back into fair territory. And there are 2 down. David Ortiz.
Big Poppy.
So I'm confident with Beltran, Pierzynski, Colon, and Ortiz. I'm not sure about Uribe yet.
Yeah,
No, I don't think he was up yet.
Yeah, how's your partner doing with you tonight? I think I usually get one of the questions right, and you get the rest of them.
That's into left field. Inciarte started in, and he was able to correct and make the play. So a couple of hard hit outs, and yet the Royals are down very quickly against Tehran in the 4th.
Francoeur is not the answer, but he did play 3 years here for the Royals, and we knew that he was going to have a good time every day. 2011 through 2013, 40 outfield assists, and of course for quite a while he was in the middle of that lineup and became very good friends with a lot of the Royals, and while not on the team last year, was definitely pulling for them guys during the World Series. We'll hear from Frenchie in just a little bit here, but Frenchie has kept in very, very close contact with Alex Gordon and Luke Hochevar. Their family's vacation in the offseason, and he's actually staying with the Hochavars during his stay here. I told Hoch, why don't you plunk him tonight? And he said, done. So here's Frenchie. I asked him about his rooting interests in the World Series.
I pulled for all these guys. You know, I loved it here. I think you know that. Dayton, the coaching staff, and, you know, I was tickled to death to see what they did last year, man. That was fun. You know, got close the year before, and then last year, you know, to see Gordo and those guys get over the hump, man. You know, I was here a long time and met a lot of good people, and so, you know, I was thrilled for them, and I was hoping they'd send a share my way, but I never got that.
Now always looking for a little extra cash as Cheslor Cuthbert makes the nice, easy play. He did not get a share, but at least he hinted that Alex Gordon picked up the tab on vacation. So all is well for that group of friends.
By the way, Joel, Adrian Beltre
And the only one you're missing is the only one that had multiple at-bats against Jeff Montgomery.
Well, you know what? And I just figured out who it was. And the reason I didn't come up with him is because we just played their team, and he is on the disabled list.
HUD's still lost. It's not Bernie Williams, HUD.
Jeter. I'll give you a hint. His nickname is A-Rod.
There you go. There you go. How easy is that one? I'm just going to stay on the action with you here tonight. Early morning from everyone. But didn't stop you from getting them all. Did you get them all?
I think we got them all. I'm going with Beltran, I know for sure, because he was Monty's teammate. A.J. Pierzynski, called up with the Twins in '98. Bartolo Colon. David Ortiz. Escobar, gonna have to hurry. Close and out. Second time that Smith has grounded out to Escobar. Adrian Beltre was called up in '98 as a 19-year-old. And Alex Rodriguez, who I think was called up. Well, Alex Rodriguez was there when the Mariners in '95 went to the playoffs. Remember, he celebrated with Ken Griffey Jr. at home plate. Good question, and not just because we got it right, but that's a good question. Was that yours, Joel? Yeah. Nice work, Joel. Volquez, where to get him? Ibar is safe.
I think I got a little
hit for Ibar.
A little bit of his pitching hand. Looked like I might have caught him in the head.
That's what I thought at first, that was near his mouth.
I got a little bit of a palm.
Okay, good.
Well, it's a good try on the pass there to Infante. Is he trying to?
That's a third hit for the Braves against Volquez in 4 2/3 innings, and brings up Nick Markakis. Cuthbert to the hole. He'll go the short way, and that's the inning. 5 scoreless innings for Edinson Volquez. So he has bounced back after going just 4 1/3 in his previous start. You play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers, visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. There it is for all to see. Traveling by Kauffman Stadium on I-70. A slider for a strike to Paulo Orlando. Tehran made back-to-back pitches up and in on Paulo Orlando and hit him with the second one. By the way, after more research, Colombia and Brazil played one another in the 2014 World Cup. And Brazil beat Colombia 2-1. So that's why Tehran hit Paulo Orlando. Slider away, strikes him out. That's Tehran's second. Big day coming up on Sunday. It's our annual celebration of the Negro Leagues. So come on out. It's been a great tradition, especially in recent years, as we also have Dress to the Nines Day. The first 10,000 fans through the gates receive this Kansas City Monarchs fedora, courtesy of KSHB, Channel 41. So come out in your Sunday best, wear your fedora, and let's honor the Negro Leagues on Sunday here at Kauffman Stadium. Johnson to the hole on the right side, and he'll get Alcides Escobar, who is singled to right field twice tonight. He has scored a run and driven in a run. So he's out for the first time, and now 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. And now Lorenzo Cain, he drove in the Royals run in the first inning with a ground out to short, and then Tehran struck him out in the second. Flowers wants it. Freeman comes over from first and almost overran it. And a quick bottom of the 5th inning for Tehran. At the end of 5, the Royals lead 2-0. Whoever scored first won. The Royals scored in the first inning tonight, got another run in the second. Chesler Cuthbert has scored a run. Alcides Escobar the other run. Escobar and Cain have driven in the runs, and Edinson Volquez, who really fought it the entire game on Sunday at Cleveland, really didn't have his secondary pitches and Only went 4 1/3 innings. He's got it working tonight and really playing off a very aggressive Braves team. And there you go. First pitch, ground ball to short. And Ender Inciardi is 0 for 3.
First inning. Nice little base hit there. Francoeur overplayed it, got by him. Escobar's over there at third base with nobody out. Lorenzo Cain, all he needed was a ground ball. And he got it. 1-0. Escobar comes up against his eye. I'm going to go to right field and let the ball travel deep. Cuthbert scored on a perfect slide at home. No play. 2-0.
Freeman takes a strike. Look at this. 7, 11, 14, and 20 pitches in the fourth. Single digits. And now with 3 pitches in the 6th inning, he has 2 outs.
This game is just moving along.
Oh,
so
there we go.
So.
All right. So if you're at home, you might want to run to the store and get a frozen pizza and some beverages and just buckle down on the couch, because we're going to be here all night.
I did
Nice
not
work,
mean to jinx it at all, but for Volquez, oh man, this is a welcomed offensive lineup. Swinging it the first 2 pitches almost every hitter has on him. Look at that, 63 total.
Upstairs to Tyler Flowers.
I mean, at Cleveland, Volquez, who went just 4 1/3 innings and threw 105 pitches. We are in the 6th at 65.
5 earned runs, 4 walks, 7 hits. Two and 1 on Flowers. Mentioned Tyler Flowers has his best numbers with home runs and RBIs against the Royals. Got his first big league hit and hit his first big league home run against the Royals. Fox Tracks, presented by the Missouri Lottery, shows that pitch is a little bit outside. So a good call by home plate umpire and crew chief Greg Gibson. And now high heat. 3-2.
Might just go back with that one.
Up the middle and into center field. Tyler Flowers has a 2-hit game. And he's on with 2 down.
Well, previous pitch, he blew that fastball at 92 right by him with no sweat. Now it looked like to me he threw him a changeup. Let's see how he grips it. Flowers just went with it. It looks like it must have been a fastball. Stayed with it. It was down.
And now Kelly Johnson, one of many Braves hitters who does not have a home run, but he nearly hit one to right field. Look at that save by Salvador Perez. Most catchers can't even block that pitch.
Smooth. Watch how he just moves right into that. Man, very, very fluid.
Changeup is fouled away. Kelly Johnson hit the very top of the padding in right field in the 2nd inning. Ended up with a double, another inch or 2 higher, and he has his first home run of the year. And then Volquez struck him out in the 4th. That guy's got his little eye black tabs on, Superman hat, bottle of water. He's ready to go. changeup. Johnson strikes out. That's the second for Volquez in his 6 scoreless innings.
Nice spot.
And now come up in the Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is James Williams from Liberty. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, James wins $1,700. If the Royals hit a grand slam, James wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. And it's Eric Hosmer, Kendrys Morales, Alex Gordon. If anybody gets on, Salvador Perez. Hosmer has reached both times tonight against Julio Teheran. Sliders a bit inside for ball 1.
Not a fastball first time for Haas. He singled to left his last time up on that first pitch.
One and one. Royals were granted by Major League Baseball allowed to wear those gold uniforms on Friday night home games. Granted permission. The gold on the caps and the helmets as well.
It's a great look.
And I can tell you, after 18 years with the Royals, there have been many uniforms that have come and gone, and I don't think I've heard a reaction to one particular uniform the way fans, and even I've even heard from broadcasters from other teams commenting about these Friday night uniforms. The Royals wore those during the opening homestand.
And we've seen quite a few changes around the league too with uniforms, namely the Arizona Diamondbacks. And you know, this is just a subtle change. It's a color change. They didn't, you know, change the whole look of the uniform. They just highlighted it, the letters in gold, and it's a great touch. They didn't overdo it.
Three balls and 2 strikes.
The way Teheran throws that ball, his short arms, it kind of shot puts it up there. It appears to get there a lot quicker, but than 89 miles an hour.
Leadoff walk, and now Hosmer has been on base 3 times and twice to lead off an inning. So he trots down to first, and we go to Joel.
Well, if you're talking about a big left-handed swinging first baseman, you could be mentioning either one of those guys. 6'4" Eric Hosmer, 6'5" Freddie Freeman. They're both 26 years old. Freeman about a month and a half older than Eric Hosmer. He was drafted in '07, Hosmer in '08. You see their numbers very similar. Freeman has had multiple all-star appearances and is a very good fielding first baseman. Hosmer at some point will be headed to the All-Star game and has multiple Gold Gloves. And back in 2011, guys, Freeman finished second in Rookie of the Year voting in the National League. Hosmer third in the American League. Two of the very good young first basemen in the major leagues.
How about that? Nice stuff, Joe.
Freddie Freeman was signed to an 8-year deal 3 years ago with the Braves. Be nice to be able to say that about Eric Hosmer someday.
Sure would be. Now, Freeman has more home runs than Haas, and I'm going to say that it's because Haas plays in this big ballpark here.
Checked his swing. No swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jordan Baker is the third base umpire.
Oh, nice check.
Freeman has almost 1 full major league season on Eric Hosmer. He came up a year earlier than Hosmer. Didn't play an entire season. And then the year that Hosmer was called up in 2011, that was a full season for Freeman. So with equal playing time, those numbers might be closer. Hosmer is talking to Freeman. I could read his lips about how to score from third with the infield in Game 5 of the World Series. Saying you can do it too, Freddie. Don't let anyone tell you a first baseman can't do that. Back-to-back walks. Hosmer and Morales to put 2 on with nobody out. Don't miss out the first of 5 special bobbleheads for the season. Will be given away tomorrow. First 20,000 fans will receive this Ned Yost bobblehead presented by Commerce Bank. Make sure to collect all 5. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Ned was joking before the game tonight that it's the second time that he's had a somewhat of a bobblehead of his likeness. He had a mini bobblehead when he was with Milwaukee, but he said it looked nothing like him. This one, he said, looks more like him, and then his trademark seated position in the dugout with his legs crossed. And he said he's already got a bobblehead that he's going to give away to each of his hunting buddies, which includes Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
He was with Bobby Cox first as a bullpen coach, then a third base coach. Part of that run of 14 consecutive division titles.
I didn't know Ned wore glasses.
Inside to Alex. Alex is flied to left and grounded out to second base. Freddie Gonzalez, current manager of the Braves, at one point was a coach under Bobby Cox, just like Ned Yost. One ball and 1 strike. Alexi Ogando, the Royals have seen him with the Texas Rangers. So he warms up as Tehran is at 85 pitches, but having some trouble throwing strikes here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Royals lead 2-0. Hosmer's at second. Morales is at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alex Gordon can look straight across home plate and into the third base dugout. And you might see Kevin Seitzer, who helped Alex with a brand new approach at the plate, turned his career around offensively, and then of course the move to left field did a lot as well. And then Kevin Seitzer eventually became Royals hitting coach. Three balls and 2 strikes.
Trying to get Alex up in this strike zone there. 3-2. He's looking to drive one. You don't even have to really get it all if you want to pull one here. Nice stiff breeze blowing out to right.
To right field. He didn't get it. Francoeur makes a play. Hosmer stumbled on his way to third, but maintains his balance and he advances. So not what Alex Gordon was hoping for, but it's a productive out as Hosmer goes to third with 1 down. And now a chance for Salvador Perez to drive in a run. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. Salvius flied to center field, and then he lost a base hit on a good play at short by Eric Ibar. Slider taken for a strike. I don't think that slider did what Tehran wanted it to do.
No, he's not. To me, the slider looks like it's a cutter, and he's got a little curveball that breaks a little bit. Not a lot of depth to it. So he wants to get underneath one.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Oh man, he had a great rip on that changeup.
Fastball struck him out. Tehran gets a 3-pitch strikeout with runners at first and third and 1 out, and now 2 down.
Salvi would like to have done more with that. He had 2 good pitches out over the middle in the 3 pitches. Dismissed him.
And now Chesler Cuthbert, he doubled and scored in the 2nd inning, coming home on a base hit from Escobar and then grounded out to Freeman at first in the 4th. Fastball is up and away.
To me, it looks like Tehran's best pitch is his fastball tonight. It zips up there, sneaky. It's got a little bit of tailing action.
One ball, 1 strike. And Tehran, like some of the Braves players we had talked about that were signed to long-term extensions. 2 years ago, the Braves gave him 6 years. So Tehran and Freeman, a couple of players the Braves want to build around. Fastball is high and tight, 2 balls and 1 strike. And with the Braves playing the way that they are at 8-25, those names come up quite a bit in trade rumors, but the Braves say they want to hang on to those 2. At one point this offseason, the Braves general manager said, "I'd rather trade my right arm than Freddie Freeman." Ooh. 2-2.
Tehran, and now he's going to that fastball more often because he's getting swings and misses from it. Tyler Flowers is putting that down now. Tehran's been their opening day starter for 3 years in a row. He's good. Quick, very quick, deceptive.
And struck him out with a fastball. And showing some emotion, as he should. He walked 2 to begin the inning, and then he struck out 2 to end the inning. Much concern when Volquez didn't pitch well Sunday at Cleveland, and yet we should point out that he has really bounced back nicely tonight against Atlanta.
It's because he's pitching to contact. He's trying to keep the ball down, and why wouldn't you when you have the best fielding team in the land? Ground balls, he has strikeout ability, but he says he prefers to get the ground balls for outs. Another thing I've noticed about Edison so far in this quick game is his tempo. He's really confident, and he's executing his pitches. He's not spending a lot of time walking around and posturing on the mound.
Jeff Francoeur gets on top of a high fastball, and he's on for the first time. Royals just had a scoring opportunity in the bottom of the 6th. They had 2 on, nobody out. First and third, 1 out. Tehran pitched out of it with a couple of strikeouts. Braves know that the Royals have that back end of the bullpen at a moment's notice. So I would think, even as good as Volquez has been tonight, that they feel like they better do something right now. Gordon Beckham takes a fastball for a strike. He has grounded out to third twice. One of those ground outs resulted in the best defensive play of the game tonight. Cheslor Cuthbert barehanding a high chopper and throwing him out.
But it's rare you don't get a base hit on a chopper off the plate. That rubber plate, when that ball hits it, it bounces like a Super Ball. And Cuthbert just was dazzling. I mean, full speed. He's coming at this ball here. He's going to barehand it on the dead run. Ball took a funny hop on him too, and he's able to stay with it and get rid of it quickly and just get it over there in the vicinity and let the Gold Glover take it over.
Shallow right field. Paulo Orlando. It's off of his glove after a bounce. So he didn't get a great read, and then the wind really knocked it down. So Beckham gets his first hit, and now the Braves have 2 on with nobody out. And now Dave Island's going to go out for a visit. Only 78 pitches for Volquez. And yet we're getting into the later innings. 2 on, nobody out in a 2-0 game, and Kochevar begins to warm up.
Tough read for outfielders when a guy takes a full rip and it hits off the end of the bat or it jams him. Into the bat of the baseball bat is harder to read. Watch Paulo. He's going to take a step back. Took a step back and then started in, and that cost him from making that catch there.
Well, we knew right away tonight that the wind was going to be a factor. And the wind, I think, is picked up from first pitch, blowing in out of the northwest, so it's a cold wind after some heavy thunderstorms passed through around 4:30 this afternoon. Malix Smith, the Royals think he may bunt, and he bunts it back to Volquez, but the play is to first, close and out. Smith really gets up the line, so he gets Francoeur to third, Beckham up to second, and there is one down. And it's Eric Ibar out on a fly ball to center field his first time up, and then reached on an infield single which went off of Volquez's hand in the 5th. Francoeur's at third, and the potential tying run at second, Gordon Beckham. Center field, Kane is there. Francoeur tags, the throw goes to third, 2 down, and now a 1-run game as Ibar drives in his 4th of the year. It's a full day of baseball tomorrow on Fox Sports Kansas City and FS1. Here on Fox Sports Kansas City, the Royals continue their series with the Braves. Our coverage begins at 5:30. FS1 has a doubleheader with the Astros and Red Sox at 11:30 a.m., followed by the Twins and Indians at 3 p.m. So baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City and FS1, or watch the games live on Fox Sports Go. Changeup is low to Nick Markakis. He is 0 for 3. This is just the 3rd inning out of 7 where the Braves have had a runner pass first base. Slider for a strike, and it's 1-1. Rounded out to Infante, and Volquez gets out of it, allowing just the 1 run. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals lead Atlanta 2-1. 2-1 over the Braves. A Mazda game break. Byung Ho Park has hit 2 home runs for the Minnesota Twins, and they took a 6-5 lead into the bottom of the 8th, and Cleveland came up with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, so they lead 7-6 in the top of the 9th. Minnesota has not won a road game inside the division yet this year, and they're tied with the Braves for the worst record in the major leagues. Ball 1 to Omar Infante, and that is a sobering thought, to think that those 2 teams have the worst records in the major leagues. Infante is 0 for 2. And the Braves 11 years ago won their 14th consecutive division title. I don't think that'll ever be matched or surpassed. And now here they are, back-to-back rough years. It's still early this year, but they're 8-25. And Royals fans will remember when Minnesota, doesn't seem that long ago, when they were dominating the American League Central. They won 6 division titles in 9 years. And they look like they're on their way to another at least 90-loss season. Cervenka and Ogando are warming up in the Braves bullpen. So, well, how about the Royals? When the Royals, I was talking to Denny Matthews about this before the game tonight. When the Royals won the World Series in '85, that was a decade of tremendous success. They were the model organization. Infante lines it to center, and the wind pushes it over to Smith. That's the second time that Infante has lined to the outfield, and 1 down. And when the Royals won the World Series in 1985, who would have thought fans would have to wait 29 more years until they get back to the playoffs? So that's why when the so-called window is open, man, you jump through it.
Yeah, because the players age, they move on, get old enough to where they reach free agency. But it's been nice to see how Dayton's tying up some of his players, and they want to keep the success here.
Paulo was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, and then Tehran came back and struck him out in the 5th. Tehran is at 102 pitches. Check swing, and that's taken inside, 1-1.
Finished off that last inning, man, just blazing that fastball. That's all he used. Some good late life.
On his way in on his hands, and it's 1-2. That slider hung up for him. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Both Royals runs scored in the 1st and 2nd innings, and then nothing since. Tehran settled in.
Fastball got him looking. Fifth strikeout for Tehran, and now 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. University of Kansas Hospital injury report. The Texas Rangers have been waiting on Yu Darvish to come back from Tommy John surgery, which he had very early last year. He pitched 4 innings for a AAA Round Rock. So that'll give the Rangers a huge lift. Texas is a game and a half back of Seattle in the West. 1 strike on Escobar.
Yeah, well, if he's anything like he was before he got hurt, that's another plus arm. top of the rotation guy.
Grounded to third. Beckham makes the play and throws out Escobar. So a good night for Tehran. He goes 7 innings and gives up just 2 runs, but the Royals lead 2-1 to the 8th inning. Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be, with 24 KC Metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Freddie Gonzalez is happy with Julio Tehran's night, and he should be. 7 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, and now congratulations from his teammates and pitching coach Roger McDowell. A 2-1 game to the 8th inning, and Kelvin Herrera is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Kelvin with 20 strikeouts in 16 in the 3rd innings. That figures to over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. So that's a spike for him in his career. Averaged about 8.5 strikeouts per 9 innings coming into this year.
Well, he has that power stuff, no question about it. 98, 99 with a fastball, changeups about 88 to 89, and his slider's been a great addition full time this year. He's using it.
Inciarte is 0 for 3 with a couple of ground outs and an infield pop-up. On the ground to Escobar. Low throw, and Hosmer picks it on his knees. And Esky's not happy with that throw, but he's got Eric Hosmer to bail him out on the right side.
What a luxury. Guys on the left side of the infield, they say they just throw it. Now Escobar had a little bit more time there, but Haas stayed down on it. He got on the ground right away. He could tell the release point starting at that glove low, close to the ground, and he pulls it up. Perfect pick.
Gold to gold.
It's a crime.
Now you refer to it to gold on gold crime.
Yeah.
So is that one Gold Glover to another, or is it when a Gold Glover takes a hit away from a Gold Glover?
No, I think it's gold to gold crime,
okay.
And that's what Haas told me in spring training. He liked that term, and I said that's pretty cool. That's going to stay in.
Boy, did that ball hit the teeth of the wind or what? That ball was hit hard, and I mean that just flew off of Freeman's bat, and it's like it hit an imaginary wall once it got out to left field.
Sure did. He was on it. Sounded good too.
And look at Alex. Alex was going back and just stopped.
Staying with it. Hey, and that ball that he dropped and they gave him an error on, the wind played a part of that too, believe me. It pushed it back and it shortened up Alex's arm extension, and he caught it down low by his shoulder, and he never really could see it all the way into his glove. So we talked about that wind when the game started, how it would affect tonight's action, and it has.
Freeman hit that ball harder than Chase Headley did last night in New York.
Oh, for sure.
And Headley got a home run. 2 singles for Flowers. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fastball at 97, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Herrera hit a little bump in the road in the game on Tuesday at Yankee Stadium, allowing his first runs of the year, 3, 2 earned, and took the loss, but bounced back on Wednesday with a scoreless 8th inning. Didn't have much trouble with Tyler Flowers or any of the Braves hitters in the top of the 8th inning.
Strong as a bull. El Toro.
Will take us around the Central Division. Baltimore beats Detroit. Now, the Tigers have now lost 9 of their last 10 games. Chicago, behind Chris Sale, wins at New York. Sale is 8-0. Houston is leading Boston 7-6 in the top of the 8th. And Minnesota, we just told you an inning or so ago, they had a lead going into the bottom of the 8th, but the Indians scored 2.
He scored 1 run off Sale. You'll never guess who hit the homer. Not Beltran.
Well, let me try and guess. This is Hunter Cervenka pitching to Lorenzo Cain.
It's Beltran. That would be his 400th. Hasn't hit it yet.
Was it Austin Romine?
Nope.
Cervenka has an impressive scoreless inning streak. In fact, it's the longest in Braves team history to begin a career. He allowed a hit to the first batter he faced, and now opponents are 0 for 30.
Wow. Well, he's got a good fastball and a cutter. and a hit.
So Lorenzo Cain, and now he's going to go for 2. And he's in there. An 8-game hitting streak. He'll go to second on an error. And the Royals, trying to tack on in the 8th inning, have a runner at second base with nobody out.
But if he's just enjoying his single and just jogging to first base, he doesn't get this play. Now watch him. He's going to kick it in. He says, you know what? I'm going to go hard and I'm going to take second if he gives it to me.
Nope.
Yep.
Boy, that head came up, didn't it?
See that? Got to watch that ball all the way in. Cain made him pay.
So an error on Inciarte. It's the Braves' second error, second outfield error tonight. So Cervenka's streak of retiring 30 hitters in a row comes to an end. Now the Royals are going to try and end that scoreless inning streak. Eric Hosmer has been on all 3 times tonight. He's walked twice and he is singled.
Mainly fastball cutters from Cervenka.
Two and 0. 3 balls and no strikes. Late appeal there, and Jordan Baker says no swing. Hosmer's single in the 3rd inning. He has hit safely in 29 of his last 31 games. Batting at .338. Cain to third. That's ball 4. Stolen base and runners at the corners with nobody out.
Hello, Cain. No one was paying attention to him, and he said, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Got a great jump. Didn't have a big lead. That's why they weren't expecting it. Just took off and got his 4th bag of the year. Timely now. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Time for some insurance for Wade Davis, who is out there loosening up.
Kendry's bats from the right side for the first time and takes a fastball high. As a left-hand batter tonight, he has flied out, grounded into a double play, and walked. And up and away, 2 balls and no strikes. So he continues to struggle against righties, but from this side of the plate against lefties, he's hitting .323. There's the cutter, and it's over the outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Shallow center field, base hit. That'll get Cain to the plate. It is 3-1. So Kendrys Morales has really swung the bat well as a right-hand batter, and Cervenka's 10 1/3 scoreless inning streak comes to an end. This is our Dodge drive of the game.
Yeah, that's up out over the middle of the plate, and Morales was trying to do just that. Just wanted to put it in play out there, and straightaway center field, he dropped it right down in front of Smith. Smith put his glove up like he was trying to catch it, but Hosmer, yeah, it's too good a read from Hosmer. Outfielders will try to deke the runner sometimes and freezing them. hoping to throw him out for the force play. Didn't work.
2 on, nobody out for Alex Gordon. Alex is hitless in 3 trips so far tonight. Left center field. Smith is back. Hosmer runs back to second base to tag, and now Smith heaves it toward third. It's not close. And that's the second time tonight that Alex Gordon has flied to the outfield to get Hosmer to third with 1 out.
Eric Hosmer is a extremely well-rounded player. He's got great speed. I mean, for a first baseman, for sure. Watch it. He's going to read this at the last minute. He goes a little bit before halfway, and then he says, you know what, I can go back and tag on that. And it's a good tag because he gets over to third base with less than 2 outs and sending Cervinka to the showers.
And bringing in Alexi Ogando with runners at first and third and 1 out. Royals baseball is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Gerard Dyson will run for Kendrys Morales. And on there with big right-hander Alexi Ogando on the mound. And Ogando will get Salvador Perez with runners at first and third and 1 out. Although in a flash here, it could be second and third with 1 out.
11 walks, 15 2/3. High number. This guy throws hard. Fastball slider. He's got a little split finger.
Dyson is not running. Salvador Perez took a fastball for a strike, giving him an opportunity to run.
Braves defense setting up for 2.
Same situation here for Salvi as he had in the 6th inning. Runner at first and third with 1 out. In that inning, Tehran struck him out. Dyson back in time. There he goes. Inside, Flowers doesn't bother with a throw. So there you go. Second and third and one out. That eliminates the possibility of a ground ball and a double play.
Yeah, but now the Braves infield will come in. They're going to try to cut that run down home. Salvi wants to look up, now out over the plate. See if he can get a sac, flies or better. Or find a hole. They're in. Go right back up the middle.
1-2. Wade Davis is ready to go. If the Royals score beyond a save situation, it'll be Joakim Soria. Out of play.
And I remember when Alexi Ogando came in the league, he threw 100. This guy had a blazing fastball. Now he's more like in the mid-90s now. But those long arms and legs, he gets it up on that hitter fast.
That's kind of a short arm delivery, which adds to the deception. Gondo signed with the A's 15 years ago. He's been around for a long time. Base hit center field. Hosmer scores. Dyson scores. The Royals have a 3-run bottom of the 8th inning.
Just what he was wanting to do. Infield drawn in. See if he can get him a pitch. Laced it up the middle for his 19th and 20th RBIs. Well, that's a nice stroke too. Look, a slider that just caught too much of the plate. Salvi wasn't trying to yank it. You know, he hit the ball out of the park. He's just trying to plate those runs, and he did that. And his teammates love it.
So Wade Davis sits down for the time being as Cheslor Cuthbert takes a strike. Salvi had a tough road trip, batting just .179, and now has driven in 2 in game 1 of this homestand. Backhanded by Flowers. 1-1 to Cuthbert, who has a 7-game hitting streak. He doubled and scored back in the 2nd inning. The Royals got 1 in the 1st, an unearned run because of an error by Jeff Francoeur in right. Another run in the 2nd. The Braves got a run in the 7th inning to make it a 1-run game, and now the Royals have 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Down and away to Cuthbert, 2 balls and 1 strike. And now 3 balls and 1 strike on Ogando, or from Ogando to Cuthbert. Ogando, I mentioned, signed in 2001. He was an outfielder in the A's organization. Big swing by Cheslor. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, you hear that periodically. Outfielders turn pitchers. Some infielders turn pitchers. So I'd like to. It'd be interesting to get a count on those guys. How many outfielders, ex-outfielders, have turned pitchers over infielders?
Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Every now and then you get the very rare Rick Ankiel, who was a pitcher and then becomes a position player.
Yeah.
But it's almost always a former position player becoming a pitcher. Down and away and a walk. Ogando not thrilled with that call. He's come out of the bullpen. He has given up a 2-run single and now a walk to Cuthbert. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler with Joe Goldberg. Jeff Montgomery is on his way to St. Louis for his son's college graduation. Speaking of college graduations, you got one coming up.
That's right. Today was the day that they give the diplomas out, but then Sunday is the ceremony that they have, and I didn't have to go as far as Monty. I just went 35 minutes to KU.
But you're not graduating from KU.
Unfortunately not.
Inside to Infante, but the lovely Alyssa Hudler is. I remember, it seems like yesterday when you said you took her to Lawrence and she said, "Daddy, I want to be a Jayhawk."
Yeah.
Now it's over.
She came out here with me in 2012, and I'm proud of her for her perseverance. 4 years and done. I said, "Honey, you don't have to get it in 4 years. You can stay here and, you know, hang out for a little bit." I mean, I don't know. Yeah, no. Look.
You want to pay for more than 4 years of college?
You know, it was hard on her. She was crashing and burning and trying to, you know, get everything in. I said, "Hey, why don't you just relax a little bit? That workforce will be there soon enough. Just go ahead and enjoy your college life." She says, "No, Daddy, my goal was to graduate with my class." I liked it. I said, "All right, good for you." Proud day for us.
Strike to Infante, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 6 batters have come up for the Royals in the bottom of the 8th. 5 have reached base and 3 have scored. Still 2-2 on Infante, and the inning began with a 2-1 Royals lead, and Hunter Cervenka coming out of the Braves bullpen. He had retired 30 consecutive hitters and had a scoreless streak of 10 in the 3rd innings, and all 3 runs in this inning are charged to Cervenka. Now 2 of those runs scored after he left on the base hit allowed by Ogando to Salvador Perez. Perez is at second base. Cuthbert is at first. Johnson flips to second one. Ibar to first. Out.
Looked like he was safe at second. Ibar might have missed the bag.
Royals want to take a look at it. Cuthbert isn't going anywhere. He's standing right on second base, so he is convinced that he is safe.
No, Ibar came across that bag quickly. Yep.
Ooh. Well, there you go.
That's the old vicinity play.
Yep.
Usually a second baseman used to get away with those.
So that is now reviewable. The umpires are going to talk about it. There's second base umpire Mike Estabrook.
That's good angle there.
Estabrook called him safe. Okay, so it's the Braves who are asking about this. Well, Estabrook was right there, and that's going to be very difficult to overturn. And now Greg Gibson, home plate umpire and crew chief, along with Estabrook, who made the call at second base, is going to go over and discuss it with Ned.
Ned already had a little heated argument with Gibson earlier in this game. Well, I'm not understanding why they're not just replaying it if he wants to take a look at it. Umpire called him safe, and he can challenge it, can he?
Well, I thought that was the whole purpose of the new slide rule this year, to protect the infielders so that they could take a look at whether the middle infielders made contact with the bag or not.
Looked to me like the slide was okay. Exactly how you teach it. Both hands in the air. All right. After all that delay, now they're going to go check it.
Well, and we'll review the slide rule. And this is something that was clarified just this week. The slide rule and all these points that I'm going to make up, did it impact the fielder's ability to make a play? That did not impact, if this is what they're looking at, it did not impact Ibar's ability to make the play. Cuthbert did not begin his slide at or beyond second base.
And he wasn't trying to grab Ibar with his hands. You're trained to slide with both hands in the air. So he wasn't trying to distract him.
Now, the second part of the rule says he is able and attempts to reach the base with his hand or foot. So maybe that's what they're talking about, because he clearly wasn't close enough to reach it with his hand or foot. He is able to remain on the base after completion of the slide, and he came up short, and he slides within the reach of the base without changing his pathway for the purpose of initiating contact with the fielder, which he didn't do on that play.
Yeah, but a lot of sliders, they slide way before the base. I've seen guys slide almost halfway.
Can we get a call? Thank you.
Thank you.
So the call stands. So it'll be interesting, what exactly were the Braves challenging? Because if they were challenging whether Ibar touched the bag or not, you figured there wouldn't be that long of a discussion. The call stands, by the way. So then I guess it must be the tag play, because, I mean, if they were not happy with Cuthbert's slide, it was pretty clear if they wanted to make a judgment on that. But we'll just assume that they were challenging Ibar and whether he touch the bag or not.
When will Major League Baseball bring the field mic in and have the umpire explain, just like the other sports do?
Be a nice touch, wouldn't it?
Would be.
Second and third, 2 down. And now Paulo Orlando. Fastball is in for a strike. So it's a 4-6-3 out at first base to get Infante. Perez goes to third. Cuthbert moves up. And we want to give credit where credit is due. A good call by Mike Estabrook, because it was not obvious at full speed that Ibar missed the bag. The neighborhood play, the in the area play, was designed to protect the infielders, that if their foot was just somewhere near second base, because they had to take evasive action to protect themselves with a hard sliding base runner. But with replay, it was becoming confusing because the difference between the neighborhood play or just simply missing second base. So if you're going to enforce the neighborhood play, or at least enforce that the fielder has to touch the bag, well, then Major League Baseball had to come up with something that would protect the infielders. And there you have the slide rule.
Thank you.
Paulo takes a strike at the knees over the outside, so Paulo strikes out 3 times tonight. So a long but profitable bottom of the 8th inning for the Royals. So they have a 4-run lead, and Soria will have a chance to slam the door on Atlanta in Game 1. The 9th inning, and there's Joakim Soria's picture up on Crown Vision as he will pitch the top of the 9th inning. Our Toyota League leaders, let's go back to 2014, and the Royals have the best interleague record in the major leagues, 30-15. They are 2-3 so far this year. The Braves are 29th at 14-30. So Joakim Soria will get Kelly Johnson, Jeff Francoeur, and Gordon Beckham. Major League Baseball last year started sending out an official email, since we don't have the microphone on the umpires, which we would love to have. Major League Baseball sends out an email to explain what the replay was all about. It always begins with my favorite part. After viewing all relevant angles, not to be confused with irrelevant angles. After viewing all relevant angles, the replay official could not definitively determine that the fielder's foot contacted second base. So that's what the review was all about. So the call stands. So it'll be interesting to figure out why that took so long, unless they were bringing up an issue with Cuthbert's slide. Otherwise, I mean, they had their challenge, and it was the 7th inning or later. So even if they didn't have their challenge, Soria on 3 pitches takes care of Kelly Johnson, and there's 1 down in the 9th inning.
I mean, I didn't understand. I saw the play live. I saw the second base umpire Estabrook gives the safe sign, and then why did both managers have to come out and talk about that? I don't know. Well, Royals have played a very good baseball game tonight, all the way around.
Fastball outside to Jeff Francoeur. He is 1 for 3. He led off the 7th inning with a single and scored the Braves' only run. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Soria, fastball, slider, curve, and a change. He's got all four and uses all four. He's a finesse bullpen artist. A lot of experience.
Two balls and one strike. Soria on Tuesday night was not able to hold a 6-5 lead, giving up back-to-back RBI hits to Dustin Ackley and Aaron Hicks in the 7th inning. Still 1-2 on Francoeur. Soria had 6 consecutive scoreless outings before giving up the lead on Tuesday.
I don't believe any of those runs would have scored had he not balked. Ned said that he's going to improve on that and make sure he comes to a complete stop.
Close. 2-2. Edinson Volquez went 7. He gave up 1 run, 6 hits. Herrera had a 1-2-3 8th with a strikeout. Francoeur off of Salvi's mask. Coming up after the game, it's Boulevard Royals Live with Randy Miller and his Hawaiian shirt. Now, Randy dressed for the weather earlier today, not for the weather tonight. Correct, Randy? Randy's one of our audio men, so that's why he can hear what we're talking about. But he is getting that fancy dancy desk ready for Joel Goldberg.
Look at that. He's just got his summer attire on now.
Yep.
Did he get that shirt out of your closet?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
I'd wear it, though.
That's right up your alley, I'm telling you. Oh, my.
2 strikeouts for Soria, now 2 down in the 9th inning.
Nothing but fastballs here to Frenchie.
Well, we've had a 3-year-old and now a 20-year-old celebrating a birthday tonight, hoping for a Royals victory, and they're 1 out away. Beckham is 1 for 3 with a single in the 7th inning. Below the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike. Up the middle and into center field. Not hit very hard, but hit in a good spot. Beckham is on with his 2nd hit. Don't forget to come out to Kauffman Stadium tomorrow and Sunday for Major League Baseball's first annual Play Ball weekend, proudly sponsored by Chevrolet and Scott's. MLB celebrates all forms of youth baseball and softball, from organized league games to just playing catch. So be part of something great. Let's play ball. So man on, and Wade Davis begins to warm up. Another man reaches, and it becomes a save situation. The tying run on deck. Slash foul into the crowd. 33,132 on what turned out to be a cold Friday night after a warm day in Kansas City with hardly any wind. It is now 54 degrees. That wind whipping out of the northwest. Fastball upstairs, 1-2 on Malik Smith. With the wind chill, and how often do we say that on May the 13th? But there is a wind chill. It feels like 48 degrees. outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. High temperature tomorrow is only supposed to be 63. The high today in Kansas City was 81. 55 on Monday for a high temperature. Changeup. Soria strikes out the side. He gets Johnson, Francoeur, and Smith. So after that grueling stretch of games on the road, the Royals are back home for a week, and they begin with a 5-1 victory over the Braves.
Man, we saw a lot of typical Royals baseball tonight. Great to be home. Got solid pitching from Steady Eddie. He was steady tonight. Nice base running. A couple of tag-up plays. Kane with a steal. Timely hits. Bringing a smile to Ned's face. Happy to be home, no matter how cold it is.
Chesler Cuthbert has many reasons to smile tonight.
Yeah, and you know, I was saving the best for last. The defense. This chopper, that's a hit 10 out of 10 times, except for tonight. Cuthbert, and he said, "Nuh-uh, not on my watch." That was sweet. Great pick by Haas, and all pumped up. And then he did it with the bat. Took that double right down the line off of Turan.
Yeah.
And he scored a run. Got dirty.
Well, congratulations to Chesler. We're really happy for him. And Joel, he sure picked a bad night to be player of the game.
Well, I think Chesler and all the Royals are just happy to be home. Chesler, you know what this place can be like. You've spent enough time here. How good was it? I know a very early morning trip from New York. How good is it to be back home?
Well, really excited about to be home, playing in front of all these fans. Really excited.
All right, let's talk about the defense, because you've made plays, many plays. You had the ball that you caught leaning over the railing last night in New York, and then the play tonight. How good do you feel there? All right, let's get this done quickly. The kid from Nicaragua probably is really, really cold right now. But let's talk about the defense.
Well, I just be working on my defense and try to make all the plays just to win games.
And I want to ask you, you told me the other day you had a lot of family and friends back home in Nicaragua watching at your parents' house. How many Royals fans right now do we have going in Nicaragua? How many people are paying attention?
Well, we have a lot of fun in Nicaragua. Like, they support me, and like, they start supporting the Royals now too, so I'm really excited.
Okay, last thing, how much fun, even though it's cold, how much fun is it being up here?
I've been waiting for this so long, and I just trying to have fun up here, and it's an amazing moment for me right now.
Big double and a run scored in the second inning. Great defense again. Go warm up. Thanks, Chesler.
Thank you.
Chesler Cuthbert getting the ice bath, and hey, the tip of the wet cap, he'll take it anytime. Life in the big leagues is good, guys.
All right, Joel, and with the high winds, they unfortunately canceled the fireworks tonight. So, but they did not cancel the ice bucket of Chesler Cuthbert with a wind chill of 48 degrees.
Man, how about the force behind that? Hello.
We'll be right back.